if you see the union budget, our country spends around $100 billion a year on defense. Out of that, $70 billion is imported kit that we buy each year. A lot of that obviously from Russia historically. I'm sure everybody reads the papers and you can see the tussle between America and Russia, right? And we are part of that. So the Americans are saying, buy it from us, abandon your friendship with Russia, hamare dost ban jao. And India naturally is saying, it's all good, but these guys have been giving us weaponry for the last 40 years. And you guys in the meantime were doing, selling weapons to Pakistan. So let's do a deal about you give us weaponry, and not just the weaponry, you want the factory to be here. Because otherwise, in the next crisis, you might turn around and say, ab weapons nahi denge, unless you dance to our tune. So that I think that arm wrestle, Neeraj, is happening at the moment. I simply, it's above my pay grade to know how exactly that arm wrestle is playing out. But I find it fascinating that France is willing to give India the Mirages, and I thought the Airbus industry Tata deal was fascinating. I think the Airbus industry Tata deal is the template. I'll be surprised if a year hence the American defense majors haven't announced similar deals with the Tata Mahindras, L&T type people, where it's the US State Department will have to sign off that it's the American kit, the American partner, but either a 50-50 or a 75-25 JV with an Indian partner. If that 70 bill, Mano, out of that 70 bill that we buy from abroad, if we buy $50 billion, if we make $50 billion locally, Neeraj, we will also end up becoming a defense hub for the entire emerging markets piece. And in a world where China is becoming antagonistic and Xi seems to be putting up barriers to shut off China from much of the world, that $50 billion defense industry built over the next, say, 5, 6, 7 years would end up itself becoming a large industry. But even if we stay conservative, the smartphone opportunity, the API opportunity, the defense opportunity, you roll these up, we're looking at $300 billion of economic activity coming to us spread over 5-6 years. That's a major augmentation of the Indian economy. That deals with the current account deficit. It deals with the cost of capital issues. So that's the turning point we are at in history. It's playing out in front of us. It's a real privilege to be awake and alive in these times, seeing the seismic shift. And if you speak to a whole generation of Indian business people whose businesses were ruined by China through the 80s, 90s, noughties, as China joined the WTO and then muscled their way and killed whole sectors of the Indian economy, if you talk to them, you'll get a far better sense of how animal spirits are revving up in our country. We see that in the listed businesses. We are seeing in our investee businesses, companies, modest companies announcing $500 million of capex, $1 billion of capex. Right? Larger players like Asian Paints have announced $1 billion of capex over 3 years. But even chota companies in our portfolio like Alka, Amines, GMM, Pfaudler, they're putting on the table solid sums of money, $200-300 million of capex. And they're doing so because they can see the opportunity over the next 3, 4, 5 years. India's smartest capital allocators are putting on the table the biggest capex bets I have seen in the 14 years I've lived in this country.